absolutely shocking news. It's the most appalling act of violence that's taken the lives of young people who were at a music event to enjoy themselves. People must be allowed to enjoy themselves at a music event. This is an appalling act of violence against people, and it must be totally and unreservedly and completely condemned. During the night, I've been following events, and I spoke to the Prime Minister early this morning, and we discussed the danger to people, the security needs, and also the great work done by the police, the fire and the ambulance services in supporting people during the night. In these circumstances, a city and a community comes together in solidarity and in strength, so we carry on. We don't allow these attacks and these people to divide us or prevent us from leading the decent, normal lives that we all want to lead.
And your message to the families of those involved?
I'm terribly sorry and terribly sad for you. There can be nothing worse than losing a child in a situation like this. We have to put our arms around them and support them, not just today, but in all the very difficult days to come, because trauma like this doesn't go in a day or two. It's there with them for the rest of their lives. We have to give them all the support we possibly can, and also make sure we live in a safe environment in the future, and we live in safety together. But we do not allow our communities to be divided by this kind of appalling, atrocious act of violence.
The terrorist outrage is utterly heartbreaking. It's been made all the more clear to me this morning as I spoke to my kids, all of whom each had a friend or more at the gig last night in Manchester. And we know that every terrorist attack on our country is an attack on every single one of us. But this is of a different order. This was a terrorist attack deliberately targeted at children having the time of their lives. It was cowardly, it was deliberate, it is beyond wicked. And that is why it's right that we should determine that justice must be done, and we continue to stand up to those who wish to harm our society, to take away life and to take away our liberty and our freedom. But beyond that, it's so important too that we recognise that last night and throughout this day, we're seeing Manchester and Britain at their absolute best. Our emergency services, whilst people were running away stricken from this outrage, people putting themselves in harm's way, running towards it to help those who are injured and worse. And we see also the people of Manchester opening their homes, opening their cars, opening their shops and their businesses, church halls and everything else to warmly embrace and get alongside those people who are affected. There is so much that this day we can be proud of in Manchester's response to all of this. Well, all the parties, ourselves, Labour and the Conservatives, have been in discussions, and we are absolutely of the view that our campaigning, our national campaigns have been suspended today. What happens in the future, that's something to be discussed, but I think today is not a day for us to be considering that and the general election campaign. It all seems pretty small in comparison with the unspeakable outrage that took place in Manchester, the wickedness those children were victims of, and the importance for us to have our thoughts constantly with those who are grieving and who are affected directly, and indeed, in my case, constantly holding those people in my prayers. I think today is not a day for politicking.